If you're over 60 and waking up with stiff joints, puffy hands, or a general sense that your body just isn't recovering like it used to, you're not alone. Many seniors experience these symptoms daily and are told it's just part of aging. But what if that explanation is only part of the truth? What if the pain, swelling, fatigue, or brain fog you're feeling is actually a signal, not of aging, but of chronic inflammation that's gone unnoticed? Inflammation is one of the most misunderstood health topics, especially in older adults. It's not just about pain in your joints. It's something deeper, more systemic, and often invisible until it begins to interfere with your daily life. And here's the surprising part. It's not just your age or genetics. In many cases, the way inflammation builds in your body is heavily influenced by one thing: what you eat first thing in the morning. That's right. Your breakfast can either fuel inflammation or help reduce it. It can set the tone for how your body handles pain, energy, digestion, and even your immune system for the entire day. In this video, we're going to uncover the truth about inflammation. After 60, we'll break down what it is, how it shows up in ways most people ignore, and reveal one simple, affordable food combination that research suggests can help reduce it significantly. You won't need to buy any supplements or follow a restrictive diet. It's all about using real food strategically, starting with what goes on your breakfast plate. Let's begin by understanding exactly what inflammation is and why it becomes such a problem as we get older. Inflammation is your body's natural defense system. It's how your immune system responds to injury, infection, or anything it sees as a threat. If you cut your finger, twist your ankle, or get a cold, your body sends white blood cells to the area to begin healing. That redness, swelling, and pain, that's inflammation doing its job. But there's another kind of inflammation, one that isn't loud or obvious. It doesn't show up as a bruise or a fever. It builds slowly over time, and it doesn't go away. This is called chronic inflammation, and it's a different beast altogether. After 60, your immune system starts to weaken. It becomes less efficient at distinguishing between real threats and harmless signals. As a result, your body stays in a low-grade state of alert, always slightly inflamed, always slightly on edge. This condition is so common among older adults that researchers gave it a name: inflammaging. It's the silent, ongoing inflammation that contributes to nearly every major disease of aging: arthritis, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, osteoporosis, and even some cancers. But inflammation doesn't always announce itself with big symptoms. It often creeps in through everyday issues that are easy to dismiss. That stiffness in your knees when you stand up, that's inflammation. That bloated feeling after you eat, inflammation. Waking up tired despite a full night of sleep. Yes, inflammation is likely involved there too. And because it doesn't scream for attention, many seniors ignore it until it becomes too big to overlook. So where does food fit into all of this? Turns out that your morning meal is one of the most powerful levers you have to either increase or decrease inflammation in your body. Let's be honest, a typical breakfast today might include toast, juice, cereal, processed meats, or sweetened yogurt. These are foods that spike blood sugar, overload the liver, disrupt the gut microbiome, and in many cases, activate inflammatory pathways in the body. And remember, at this age, your body no longer bounces back from that spike as easily as it once did. A 2020 study from the University of British Columbia found that older adults who ate a breakfast high in refined carbohydrates had significantly higher inflammatory markers, including CRP and IL-6, just 2 hours after eating. Meanwhile, participants who started the day with anti-inflammatory foods saw improvements in blood pressure, blood sugar, and even mood by mid-morning. This means your first meal of the day could be silently adding fuel to the fire, or helping put that fire out. So, now that we understand the problem, it's time to focus on the solution, because there are foods, simple, whole, affordable foods, that have been shown in multiple studies to naturally help the body reduce inflammation. And in the next section, we'll show you exactly what they are, how to prepare them, and how they work inside your body. Let's take a closer look at why breakfast matters so much, especially after 60. Most people think of breakfast as just another meal, something to fill the stomach and get the day started. But the truth is, your first meal of the day has a powerful influence on your body's metabolism, your hormones, your energy levels, and your inflammatory state for the rest of the day. When you wake up, your body is coming out of an overnight fast. Your blood sugar is relatively low, your insulin levels are reset, and cortisol, the hormone that helps mobilize energy, is naturally high. This is a sensitive window. What you eat during this time can either support your body's recovery and balance or push it into a stress response. Now, think about a typical breakfast for many older adults. Toast with margarine, instant oatmeal with sugar, fruit juice, cereal with skim milk, maybe even some processed meats like ham or sausage. Individually, these items might not seem harmful, but when combined, they form a highly pro-inflammatory meal. Why? Because they're full of refined carbohydrates, seed oils, artificial preservatives, and added sugars. These ingredients spike blood sugar rapidly, and with it comes a surge in insulin. That insulin spike tells the body to store fat, retain water, and triggers the release of inflammatory messengers like interleukin-6 and TNF-alpha. You may not feel it immediately, but your joints, your brain, and your digestive system, due a 2019 study from the University of São Paulo, followed older adults over 8 weeks and found that those who consumed high glycemic breakfasts had significantly elevated C-reactive protein, a well-known marker of inflammation, even if they were eating fewer calories overall. This means that what you eat is more important than how much you eat, and it's not just about sugar. Many common breakfast foods contain omega-6 rich seed oils, like soybean oil and corn oil. These oils disrupt the body's balance of fatty acids, pushing the immune system toward a pro-inflammatory state. Combine that with low fiber, poor protein, and no phytonutrients, and you have the perfect storm for inflammation, all before 10 a.m. now. Let's imagine a different scenario. Let's say you start your day with a meal that's rich in fiber, antioxidants, natural fats, and anti-inflammatory compounds. The effect on your body would be completely different. Instead of spiking blood sugar, you'd stabilize it. Instead of activating inflammatory messengers, you'd help regulate them. Instead of crashing mid-morning, you'd feel more sustained, more alert, and more mobile. That's not a theory. That's what real studies are showing. A 2020 meta-analysis in Nutrients reviewed dozens of trials and concluded that a plant-rich low-sugar breakfast significantly reduced inflammation and improved vascular health in adults over 55, even without weight loss. In other words, food isn't just fuel, it's instruction. It tells your body how to function. And if you're over 60, those instructions matter more than ever. So, what are the best foods to give your body the right message each morning? That's what we'll cover next. A simple, evidence-based combination that helps calm inflammation from the inside out. Now that we've seen how the wrong foods in the morning can fuel inflammation, let's shift to what actually works. Because yes, there are foods, real, everyday foods, that have been proven to help reduce inflammation naturally. And two of the most powerful are spinach and turmeric. Let's begin with spinach. Spinach is one of the most nutrient-dense foods available. It's loaded with vitamins A, C, and K, plus folate, magnesium, and plant compounds called polyphenols. Polyphenols are powerful antioxidants. They help neutralize free radicals, unstable molecules that damage cells and trigger inflammation. But spinach does even more. It actively influences the body's inflammatory pathways. Research from the University of Oslo found that seniors who consumed leafy greens like spinach at least 5 times per week had significantly lower levels of C-reactive protein and interleukin-6, 2 of the most well-established inflammatory markers. In addition, spinach helps support vascular health, meaning it improves the flexibility of blood vessels, which is essential for maintaining good circulation, brain function, and heart performance, especially as we age. And it's incredibly versatile. It can be eaten raw in smoothies, lightly cooked, added to eggs, or blended into soups. Now, let's talk about turmeric. Turmeric is a golden spice commonly used in Indian cooking, and its key active ingredient is called curcumin. Curcumin has been the subject of over 7,000 scientific studies, many of which confirm its strong anti-inflammatory effects. But how does it work? Curcumin targets a molecule called NF-kappa B. This molecule acts like a master switch for inflammation. In the body, when it's activated, it triggers the release of multiple inflammatory compounds. But when curcumin blocks it, the body's inflammatory response slows down. Think of it as flipping off a switch that's been stuck in the on position for years. There's just one issue. Curcumin is hard for the body to absorb on its own. That's where black pepper comes in. Black pepper contains piperine, a compound that increases the absorption of curcumin by up to 2,000%. Without it, much of the curcumin you consume would pass through your system unused. So when you combine spinach, turmeric, and black pepper, especially when lightly cooked in a healthy fat like olive oil, you create a powerful, natural way to support your body's fight against inflammation. Here's a simple recipe you can try. Tomorrow morning, heat 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil in a pan. Add a generous handful of fresh spinach, saute for 1 to 2 minutes. Until slightly wilted, add half a teaspoon of turmeric powder and a pinch of black pepper. Stir gently until warm and evenly coated. You can eat it on its own, or pair it with a poached egg, avocado slices, or a scoop of lentils for a more complete breakfast. Not a fan of cooked greens in the morning? You can also blend spinach into a smoothie with banana, ginger, turmeric, black pepper, and a little almond milk. It's fast, refreshing, and still delivers those anti-inflammatory benefits. The key isn't perfection, it's consistency. Even if you start with just 2 or 3 mornings a week, your body will begin to respond. You may notice your joints feel less stiff, your energy steadier, your mood more balanced. And over time, as inflammation calms down, your body will become better at healing, moving, and thinking clearly. But before you rush to the kitchen, we need to address one more critical piece, because adding the right foods is only half the battle. You also need to know what to remove, especially from your breakfast routine. That's what we'll explore next. So far, we've talked about what to eat to reduce inflammation, but now it's time to face the harder truth. Some of the most common breakfast items for seniors are quietly doing harm, even if you're eating light, even if you think you're making healthy choices. The reality is that certain ingredients and habits are working against your body's ability to heal. Let's start with the obvious one: refined carbohydrates. White bread, toast, bagels, and pancakes may seem harmless. They're soft and familiar. But these foods break down into sugar almost instantly. This sugar spike causes a rush of insulin, followed by a crash, and that roller coaster fuels inflammation. When your blood sugar goes up quickly, your body releases inflammatory messengers like interleukin-1 and TNF. Over time, this weakens your blood vessels, damages cartilage, and disrupts your hormonal balance. And that's just the beginning. Now, let's look at fruit juice. It's marketed as natural and healthy, especially orange juice or apple juice. But here's the truth. Even 100% juice contains as much sugar as soda, and none of the fiber that slows absorption. Without fiber, that sugar hits your bloodstream fast. And for people over 60, whose insulin response is already weaker, this creates a dangerous spike. A 2015 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adults who drank fruit juice daily had higher levels of C-reactive protein and were more likely to develop metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions tied to inflammation and heart disease. Now let's talk about processed meats. Bacon, sausage, ham, deli meats. They're all popular at breakfast, but they come with a cost. These meats contain nitrates, added sodium, and sometimes preservatives like carrageenan, all of which have been linked to inflammatory responses. They also tend to be high in omega-6 fats, which, when out of balance with omega-3 south, tilt the body toward inflammation. Over time, regular consumption of processed meats has been associated with higher risks of arthritis, flare-ups, colon inflammation, and even mood disturbances. What about yogurt? This one is tricky. Plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt can be an excellent breakfast base. But flavored yogurts, especially the ones marketed as light or fruit on the bottom, are often loaded with added sugars, thickeners, and artificial sweeteners that disrupt gut health and increase inflammation. And let's not forget margarine and vegetable oils. Many older adults still use margarine, believing it's healthier than butter. But margarine is often made with hydrogenated oils, a source of trans fats. Even when labeled trans fat-free, many margarines still contain highly processed seed oils like soybean, corn, or canola oil, which are rich in omega-6 and prone to oxidation when consumed frequently. These oils contribute to systemic inflammation and oxidative stress. So, How do you protect yourself? The goal isn't to be perfect, it's to be intentional. Know that what you remove is just as important as what you include. Start by reading labels. Look for hidden sugars under names like maltodextrin, cane, syrup, or fructose. Watch for seed oils in ingredient lists. Choose whole, minimally processed foods whenever possible. If you're used to having toast or cereal, consider switching to a vegetable-based plate a few days a week. If juice is part of your routine, replace it with herbal tea, lemon water, or a smoothie with fiber and fat. It may take a few weeks to adjust, but your body will thank you, because when you remove the daily sources of inflammation, your body can finally begin to heal instead of just reacting. And when you pair that with anti-inflammatory foods, movement, and rest, the results can be powerful. In the next section, we'll walk through a realistic morning routine that combines these elements in a way that's simple, doable, and effective for adults over 60. Now that we've covered what to eat and what to avoid, the next step is putting this into practice. Because knowledge alone doesn't reduce inflammation, action does. Let's look at how you can build a simple, realistic morning routine that helps your body fight inflammation every single day. And we're not talking about anything extreme. No cold plunges, no hour-long workouts, no expensive powders or detox drinks. Just small, consistent steps that work with your body, not against it. Step 1. Start with hydration after 7 or 8 hours of sleep. Your body is naturally dehydrated. Even mild dehydration can increase levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, which contributes to inflammation. So the first thing you should do upon waking is drink a full glass of water. Add a slice of lemon or a pinch of sea salt if you like. This helps replenish electrolytes and supports your kidneys and lymphatic system. Avoid starting the day with coffee on an empty stomach. It spikes cortisol further and can irritate your gut lining, especially if you're prone to acid reflux or digestive discomfort. Step 2. Get gentle movement. You don't need to break a sweat. Just 5 to 10 minutes of light movement can do wonders for your circulation and inflammation levels. Some great options include a short walk outside, gentle stretching or yoga, few rounds of deep breathing while standing near sunlight. These small actions stimulate lymph flow, improve insulin sensitivity, and prepare your digestive system for your first meal. Step 3. Eat an anti-inflammatory breakfast. This is the foundation of the routine. Whether you cook or blend, aim for foods that are rich in fiber, high in antioxidants, in fat and protein-free from added sugar and refined oils. One of the easiest options is sautéed spinach with turmeric and black pepper, as we described earlier. But if you're short on time, a smoothie can work too. Here's a quick anti-inflammatory smoothie recipe. 1 cup fresh spinach, 1 frozen, banana, 1 teaspoon turmeric, pinch of black pepper, 1 tablespoon chia or flax seeds, 1/2. Avocado unsweetened almond or oat milk blend, and drink slowly. This gives you fiber, fat, anti-inflammatory compounds, and minerals all in 1 glass. Step 4. Take the right supplements optional. If you've spoken with your doctor and want to add support, consider these evidence-backed supplements. Curcumin with black pepper. Extract piperine omega-3 fatty acids from fish oil or algae. Vitamin D3 with K2 magnesium glycinates aren't magic pills, but when combined with the right diet, they can support your body's natural anti-inflammatory response. Step 5. Avoid late morning sugar traps. If your breakfast is solid, inflammation can creep back in if you snack on cookies, sweetened coffee drinks, or processed bars. Instead, keep something simple on hand. A handful of walnuts, a boiled egg, a few carrot sticks, or even leftover greens. The idea is to keep blood sugar stable and avoid the crash that leads to fatigue, pain, and cravings later in the day. Remember, your morning routine sets the tone for the next 12 hours. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent. And when you follow even a few of these steps regularly, your body will notice. Your joints, your digestion, your energy, and your mood all begin to respond. In the final section, we'll wrap this up and remind you why this small change might be one of the most important things you can do for your long-term health after 60. Let's take a moment to bring everything together. If you're over 60 and dealing with stiffness, swelling, low energy, or digestive issues, there's a good chance chronic inflammation is playing a role, even if your lab tests are normal or your doctor hasn't mentioned it. And while inflammation sounds complex, the truth is that your daily choices, especially what you eat in the morning, are shaping the way your body responds. We've seen how common breakfast habits, like toast, juice, cereal, and processed meats, can silently push inflammation higher day after day. We've also seen how a simple, affordable combination, spinach, turmeric, black pepper, and a few supporting ingredients can help turn that process around, and we've shown you a morning routine that doesn't require perfection, just attention, consistency, and small steps repeated daily that add up to real change. The goal isn't to follow a strict diet or eliminate every food you enjoy. The goal is to shift the foundation of your health, to give your body the support it needs to reduce inflammation, protect your joints, support your brain, and restore your energy. Because when inflammation calms down, everything works better. You think more clearly, you move more freely, you sleep more deeply, and you feel more like yourself. This doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. And the best part, you don't need to rely on trendy products, expensive supplements, or confusing advice. You just need to start with what goes on your plate. So here's your challenge. Try the anti-inflammatory breakfast we shared for the next 7 mornings. Don't worry about doing it perfectly. Just try it and pay attention to how you feel. Notice your joints, your energy, your mood by lunchtime, your sleep at night. Your body is always talking to you. And when you feed it well, it responds. If this video helped you understand inflammation more clearly or gave you something to try, we'd love to hear from you. Share your experience in the comments. What's worked for you? What hasn't? What do you want to learn more about? And if you know someone over 60 who's dealing with chronic pain, fatigue, or health confusion, consider sharing this video with them. Sometimes the right information, at the right time, can make all the difference. Thank you for watching, and remember, it's never too late to take control of your health, one meal at a time.